What's good? What's good? What's good? How you feeling? How you feeling? If you are feeling good right now, type of feel good now in the chat for me, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Welcome everyone to the Chairman Bootcamp, right? What we're going to be doing the next couple days today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be setting everybody up for success, right? Imagine you're getting started all over again, right? Imagine this is your first day. This is what you need to get to where you want to go efficiently, effectively as a trader and as someone who shares the same vision, right? And this is where we're going to make sure that everyone gets set up properly. So if you are brand new to trading in this beautiful community, then please take notes. If you've been here for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years, please take notes because this is exactly how, right? Exactly how you can duplicate and allow your people to succeed in the best and most effective way possible, right? And so that's why we have everybody here. So please, 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 please make sure that everybody on your team is on, right? The people that you care for are on this call because this information is invaluable, right? This information is invaluable because remember, and everyone that's here right now, the reason you're here is because you really understood what you had from day one, right? And there was a platform created in front of you, or a path for you to follow that enabled you to succeed. So that's why it's so crucial to have everybody here right now, right? This is being recorded because this is going to be how we do things, right? And so I know and I trust that everyone here going forward is going to be able to duplicate the same information with the same energy and excitement, right? This is your opportunity to restart. If you felt like, man, you know what, I know I get this, I feel it, I just feel like I need a refresh, right? I need a refresh again. So this is it. So guys, with that being said, be ready to receive, right? Be ready to receive. I want to see some affirmations in the chat right now, right? I want to see your favorite affirmation in the chat. I want to get everyone like stretching, feeling good because guys, if we're about to go on a chairman boot camp, that means we're about to be moving, right? We're about to be learning. Your brain will be stimulated. Your vision will be going 10x, right? What you think is possible will be something of the past, right? So with that being said, the last thing I need you guys to do before I pass this off is, and I love this, and I don't think I ever get tired of this, right? Is I want you to send out a little gratitude to whoever got you started or whoever helped you get here, right? Whether they're with you now or they're not, right? And I love, it's just this philosophy, right? So guys, if you're ready, right? If you are ready to receive, if you are ready to see 1,000 new people after the New York event, right? If you're ready, if you're really, 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 really ready, then I'm gonna introduce, right? Who's coming up next to drop some value for you. This is someone, remember, this is someone that without this person, I'm not here now. Without this person, 100% of you aren't here right now. Without this person, we wouldn't have Alex fucking Morton coming March 28th to Chicago, right? And that's what I need you guys to understand. This is a person who did the same thing we're about to do to you guys, to me on a personal level, right? Made that path, made it possible for me to walk, right? And talk now and trade and travel, right? This is the person that made it all possible for me. So everyone needs to pay attention because if he set me up for success, just imagine what he's gonna do for you. So everybody, please, 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 let's go crazy in the chat for our very own Chairman 10, Timothy Sloma. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Guys, I'm excited, right? If you guys are excited, keep the sevens going, but don't keep them for me. Keep them for Mike. We know why QC is QC today, and you know it's not specifically Mike, but I know there's little pieces of Mike in each and every single one of you, and each and every single one of you are the ones who make this team what it is. You know, and I think that's so important, guys. Let me switch this up so I can see my screen here. So I'm not recording this and then all of a sudden it's Mike's face and me speaking. People are gonna be like, damn, Mike's accent changed, right? So cool. I'm here, guys, and I'm excited. You know, Mike said it best: 1,000 new family members in the next 3 weeks, and the catalyst moment is going to be New York. And once these 7 stops, I'm going to send a link in this chat so people are able to save it, because this is actually phase 2, right? We're going into phase 2 of this chairman boot camp. Yesterday was phase 1. Yesterday was the first understanding of why we're doing what we're doing, why we're doing, you know, this training. And I'm not going to go into that again, because I already went into, okay, I see the 7 stopped, which makes me nervous, because I feel like, you know, the moment I say the 7 stopped, you have 1,000 sevens coming again. Well, let me copy and paste this in here. Don't do it. Oh, here it comes. I'm not going to be able to get this done. All right. So what I just copied, Brady, what I just copied and pasted in there, please, please, please save that. That is going to be phase 1 of the Chairman Bootcamp, understanding why we're doing this, having awareness of where we're going, where we're at, and what needs to be done as collective, right? Because it's not Tim brings 1,000 people in. It's not Cody brings 1,000 people in. It's not Alexis. It's not Caleb. It's not any specific person, right? It's the group collective. It's QC as a whole growing 1,000 stronger. And if we don't plan, if we don't prep, if we don't sharpen each other and become better, become more, 1,000 will not stay 1,000, right? And so I think this training is super, super important. And we're really going to just align the 2 trainings today. You know, initially we're like, okay, we'll do the impact networking, network marketing, right? Impact marketing at 7. We'll do trading at 8. But what we decide, we're going to put these 2 together because they're 2 very simple concepts today. What we're going to talk about is the power of a proper launch. We're going to talk about why Tradehouse. We're going to talk about the Tradehouse schedule. We're going to talk about really what's happening in the market today. And we're also going to be talking about, if I have my notes here properly, retention through trading. And I think this is one of the most important things here is, you know, it's really funny how some other teams now are saying, wow, right? Maybe we need to start trading for our people to stay. But QC and Tradehouse from day 1 has always known that trading is the most important thing and the reason why people come here. And we use that as the ability to actually introduce people to this business, right? Actually, you know, help people become financially stable or financially free, be able to pay their bills, be able to open up their businesses, whatever it may be. But that outcome doesn't occur if you do not properly launch. If you do not properly launch, I think, you know, one of the most important things here, and a lot of people saw this, what happened in Dallas. If you've been in the business now for 8, 9 months, 10 months, whatever it may be, you saw an influx of people coming to your organization, and they didn't not stay, not because the energy wasn't good, not because there wasn't trainings, not because there wasn't live sessions, not because there wasn't signals, not because of any of that. They didn't stay because they weren't launched properly. They didn't have the blueprint, right? You have to look at this as a traditional business, right? And I grew up in traditional business. It's what I know best. Now, I don't know it as much as I used to because I've been brainwashed by this industry, right? But if I owned a McDonald's and I was to open up on, you know, I'm gonna switch it up. Let's say I owned a vegan restaurant, because we got some vegans on the call here, right? I'm gonna keep it even, right? I say this Friday, I have the launch of my vegan restaurant, and I call it V for Vegan, right? And I hire 20 employees. I hire some chefs. I hire some front desk people. I have to hire an accountant. I have to hire all these people. And on Friday night, I just say, show up. We'll figure it out. My business is not going to last long, right? It's not going to last long. There had to be some type of launch. There had to be some type of training. There had to be some type of preparation to lead these individuals to success. Because remember, it's not about recruiting someone into your business. It's about retaining them, right? It's about retaining them, getting them into the business. That's the easy part. But it's actually showing them how to become successful, because recruiting people, that's network marketing, right? What we do here at QC is impact marketing. Once someone's in the business, do they have the step-by-step game plan on how to actually move forward, where to access the chats, where to access the education, where to access the mentorship. And I always say this as a little bit of a joke to help you remember it, but we all grew up, you only can live once, right? You only live once, YOLO, right? It's true, you only live once, maybe, I don't know. But in network marketing, you only launch once. You only launch once. So when someone comes into your business, right, you have one opportunity to get that person exactly where they need to be. You have one opportunity. You have one opportunity to determine what their goals are. You have one opportunity to set the expectation. You have one opportunity to take advantage of excitement. You have one small time frame from when someone gets in to help them and align them to where they want to be. And so what we're going to be talking about, and what I'm going to talk about, is the launch. We're going to have Mike jump on and talk about a little bit what's happening in the market and why right now is the best time ever, not only to be trading, but to be building this business, right? And I'm going to go a little bit into trading retention, schedules, different things like that. And so what's happening here is the launch, right? So someone gets started in your business. And guys, over time, I'm going to talk, tomorrow we're talking about inviting, list making, we're talking about closing, fuel felt. We're going to be talking about all that throughout the week. We're going to talk about that all throughout the After New York. Right now, we're only focusing on this because at the end of the day, honestly, this is the most important thing. This is it. This is the most important thing. So when someone gets started into your business, right, you have to take responsibility for that individual. You have to take responsibility for their success. Now, if they don't do anything, that's not your fault, right? If you don't do anything, it's not your fault. But you are able to mold their actions because they're excited. They're looking up to you. And this is why I tell people, if you're willing to take that $25 commission check from I Am Mastery Academy, right? Be willing to at least invest 30 minutes or an hour of your time to making sure that person stays month after month after month. And so this is what I do. And, if you're not comfortable doing this by yourself, this is one of the most amazing things about doing the business the way it's doing it is get your mentor involved. Get someone who's a P6 involved in doing your launch. Get someone who's a P1 involved in doing your launch. Get Mike and I involved in doing your launch. I don't mind doing launches, right? I don't mind doing them. If you're at the point where, hey, I'm not comfortable yet, but I want to learn, right? I read this actually, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. I read this from a previous training. It says, find 5 people minimum that that you can work with for presenting, closing, and launching, right? You have to find a list. So let's say your list is Tim, it's Mike, it's Brady, it's Jordan, it's Nancy, right? Let's say that's your list of 5, right? Hey, Tim, someone just got started. Are you available to do a launch? Hey, man, I'm actually have op calls for the next 3 hours, but reach out to Mike. Hey, Mike, Mike's not available. Hey, Nancy, cool, Nancy, you're available? Awesome, boom. Have 5 people in line that can help you with this, right? Now, what I do that I think is super important is I'm going to look at the launch document really quick. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and look at this. And there's one thing I want to say that I think is super important. And this is actually, honestly, it's really important. One thing I noticed when we had a launch document was a lot of people said, cool, there's a piece of paper that people can follow, right? And I don't have to do any work with it, right? You can't look at that piece of paper, look at this. You have to look at it as a resource. You have to look at it as a guide. That is it. You have to still be responsible for walking. I did a launch call this morning, right? I did a launch call yesterday. And this is exactly the scenario I did. I said, let's say we got Mike and Jared on the call, right? Jared just signs up Mike. Hey, Tim, I have a big hitter. He's really, really excited. Can you hop on the launch call with me? This is what I'm going to tell Jared. No problem. Have you sent him the launch document yet? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Put me into a group chat. When I'm in that group chat with that individual, I'm going to say, hey, Mike, how are you doing? I'm super excited to meet you, man. My name's Tim. I don't know, if Jared's explained much about me, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you. What are you most excited about, bro? I just start having a little bit of a conversation. I'm not diving right into business. I want to be relational. I want to get to know Mike. I want Mike to get to know me. I want him to be excited. I say, cool, man. Well, let's do this. Normally in the beginning, what I do is I have people walk through the launch document themselves because I want them to actually experience going through everything and give them time to develop questions. right? Have you seen the pre-recorded training yet? No, I haven't. I said, awesome, cool. Well, let's do this. I'm going to send you this link right here. I want you to watch it really quick. And are you available this evening or tomorrow to hop on a call? Are you available this evening or tomorrow to hop on a call? Cool, I'm available tomorrow at 8. Awesome. Now, why I have people watch this is because I need them to go through this themselves. I need them to go through this themselves because I need them to see. You guys need the document? I'll share it with y'all really quick. Copy link. Chat. Cool. Cool. Awesome. You guys all have the link now. There's no excuse. This has been out for months. Like, this has been out for a year, actually. This document's super old. So, beyond the point, right? I have them go through this because I need them to see the expectation of there requires work. Now, some people say, well, Tim, like, what if I just get on a call with them right away? You can do that. Walk through this with them right away, right? But don't get caught hand-holding. Now, if I sign up Jordan, right? Jordan's on the couch. She's working on some stuff right now, and we're at a coffee shop. She just got started. I'm not going to say, okay, Jordan, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to sit down with Jordan and do it. I'm going to break down, hey, this is a phenomenal video that's going to help you open up your mind to new ideas. After that, this is a recorded video breaking down how all this document works. So even though you're not going to remember everything we just talked about, you're going to be able to take advantage of this video to remember all that information. Here's some of your downloads, talk about the downloads, here's the next step, blah, 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 right? Work with that person right away. Mike always says there's no better time than now. But at the same time, right, let's say you're busy, right? Let's say they're busy. Use your resource that you have, right? Use the video that Mike and I created. It's a phenomenal video. It talks about mindset, it talks about everything, right? It breaks down the chats, it breaks down everything. Right? Use that resource to get them into a position and set the expectation. Guys, the launch is your ability to set the expectation. It's the ability to set the expectation. And this is why I love the video as well. Because Mike comes in, he edifies me, and then I paint the bigger picture. I paint the bigger picture. Now, when you get on the call, you can say, hey, Mike, how did you feel after going through that document? They're going to say, man, it was super self-explanatory. It all makes sense. I'm super excited. You can now say, well, awesome. Well, what do you see yourself doing? Are you someone who sees the vision? You want to trade, but you also want to be able to help other people learn how to do this? Are you someone who, wants to trade, but, wants to get a free membership so you don't have to worry about paying every single month? Or are you someone that just wants to trade? Right? But because they've seen the vision, they're more likely to say, hey, I'm open to introducing this to other people. Guys, this is something that's super important. A lot of the times we just assume what people want, right? But if someone just wants to trade, I'm not going to teach them how to make a list. That doesn't make any sense, right? They came here to learn how to trade. So why would I force them to introduce me to their friends? Now, what you could say is, hey, well, do you know anyone, right, of high influence that I could speak to about this? While you're learning the skill set, you could say that, right? But one thing that kept Mike month after month after month after month after month of doing this was me not forcing him to do anything he didn't want to do. It was, hey, Mike, what's your goal? What do you need help with? That, okay, cool. Let me show you exactly how to get there. Because after you help someone do something enough, they're going to start asking you what's next, right? They're going to start asking you, hey, Tim, like, man, I finished the academy. What do I do next? Hey, Tim, I finished goal. Hey, Tim, I'm profiting. What do I do next? Well, bro, do you see the vision? Like, you believe this works? Yeah. Do you think other people could benefit from this? Yeah. All right, bro, well, let's make a list together and let's see who we can impact. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't want to pay for this anymore. Bada bing, bada boom, right? So I'm going to let Mike talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to let Mike jump in. Like I said, Mike and I are going to keep going back and forth through this training here, talking about when someone first gets started, setting the expectation, painting the vision, actually having that conversation. And then I'll go through this and teach you guys how I talk about each and every little step. Make sure my mute, there we go.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I want to go a little bit deeper into that because this is so important. Because guys, trust me, some people are at different energetical levels, right? Some people are like, yo, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe you can trade and you can learn and trade with pros. And then at the same time, you can even do it for free. Right? I came from, spending a lot of money in college. So to me, I was like, yo, this is a thing. Right. And to some people, they're like super hyper focused on, I'm an introvert. I just want to trade. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't even like people. I just want to be in my own space and trade. And that's it. So people are different levels, right? People are different places. And like Tim mentioned, for me, this was he set me up in a way that allowed me to grow, right? And that is what that's what I needed, because I needed to realize like what I really had. And that's what I want everyone here to understand right now is I need you to realize what you really have, right? I need you to realize what is actually in front of you, right? Everybody here now is in a position. I want you to really think about this, right? Everybody here is in a position where all we hear, right? Honestly, all I hear about now is coronavirus. Literally all I hear all day, every day now, right? And you know what's amazing is that coronavirus can't touch my money. It can't touch my money, right? I got trading income. Guess what? You guys just see what happened with the indices? You guys see what happened in the markets? Like, did you guys see these like crazy, crazy movements? 100, 800, 900, 1,000 pip point moves. It was insane, right? Most people, 401ks, buy, right? Everything was absolutely crushed. But guess what? We have a recession. We have a depression-proof skill set. Not trading. I can make money when it goes down. That's what I need you all to understand what you have, right? You are your own economy. You are in control, right? Guess what happens? Coronavirus, internet cannot get sick like that, right? Well, you can't even go out, right? I know if Monica's on this call right now, which I'm assuming she is, her bank didn't even let her go to work after she got back from Europe, and they paid her for 2 weeks because they're concerned, right? And so what you have is you don't even have to go anywhere to give other people the ability to be their own economies, right? Everything from here, right? You can not only have trading income, which when the market's dropping, you can profit, but now even when everyone else is outside scared, right? You have that sense of security, knowing, right, that as long as you keep guiding people and allowing them to grow, you have residual income that's coming in week after week, week after week, which, by the way, in my whole experience in this company, Christopher Terry has yet to miss any payment, ever, right? So I need you to understand, right, what this really gives you is your own economy, regardless of the conditions in the world, legit. Even if you have no electricity, residuals are still going to hit your bank account every Friday. So it's lit. So anyways, with that being said, guys, right, with that being said, as you're going into this space and as someone's getting started, right, this is why I wanted to share this, because you need to know what you're getting started. That's something that I didn't really know, right? I only knew that I was doing this for trading and that, if people get started, you can get paid, but that didn't make sense to me. I just didn't know. I was a little brainwashed from the world, right? But once I realized that I could contribute and I really felt like I was winning, I felt like I was growing, and I felt like I can do this my way, that's when I was like, I want to have people be here. I want for people to actually do this with me and do this for themselves and do this for their families and do this for their vision, right? I can't continue to live in a world where people don't think they have control. That's why I go so hard in this, right? I can't continue to live in a world where people don't realize that they're in control of their transformation and that they can guide other people's transformation. I've assumed complete responsibility over the direction of everybody in the world, right? For me, I know I can help with that. So that's why I love doing this, right? That's why I'm always like, yeah, of course I do this. Like, why wouldn't you do this? Are you kidding me? So with that being said, I really just wanted to help you, right, understand that this is yours to create, right? You can do this in whatever way, whether you're a yoga instructor, right? Whether you're working on automobiles, right? Whether you paint professionally, whether you make music, whether you sit behind a desk and you're doing accountability or accounting all day, right? Whatever it is that you do, like just you have to create this for yourself in a way and be coachable, right? Because that was the reason I didn't really grow so much in a year as a trader, sure, but as far as someone of influence and of impact, it was difficult for me because I just thought I knew everything. I was going into two entirely different industries, right? And my mind wasn't quite open enough to lead, right? And then once after then, now here we are now, right? So with that being said, guys, you guys really understand, right? What we're gonna do is really set you up for success. So I'm gonna pass it back to Tim to keep you guys going and keep you flowing, kind of guide you through this setup. And we're gonna get into the trading in a little bit, but Tim, take it away, bro.
Yeah, Mike, I made you co-host, by the way, so you can cut me off anytime. And so, guys, I need you to like conceptualize something that just happened. When Mike was talking, right, about his vision, did you feel something? Like, did you feel like you were like ready to restart all over again? Right? Or like, oh my God, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can do. Of course, right? Of course. So if you can do that when you're getting someone started, right? Day one, what do you think they're going to do? How seriously do you think they're going to take the education? How seriously do you think they're going to take introducing these people? How seriously do you think they're going to take, the personal development? You have to ask yourself, is someone just paying $225 or are they paying $500,000 to start a business, right? If you treat it like that, right, they're going to take it so much more seriously. And you are the one that sets the tone. And that's why I love bring on your Platinum 1000 upline, your mentor, your upline, whatever, right? Bring that person on. So they can come in from a position of authority and a position of influence, a position of mentorship and say, this is our vision. This is what we're doing. This is the guiding force that's making it happen. And people will attach themselves to this. I was re-looking through my notes, prepping for trainings this week, and it says that less than 25% of people who join this industry do it for money. Less than 25% of people do it for money. An overwhelming majority of people do this because they want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They want to join a community, or they want to make an impact in the world. So paint the vision from day one, right? Paint the vision from day one. Now, I'm going to go through and talk about a couple things because this is really the main thing for the impact side, the impact hour. And I'm taking you can see why I'm taking so long to talk about this because it's so important. This is literally the most important part of your business. And I'll say it over and over and over and over and over again, your launch, right? So I recommend if you've never seen this video, please go watch it tonight. Go watch it tomorrow morning in the gym. Listen to it while you're driving to work tomorrow. Whatever you got to do, see how I do the launch process as if I'm actually in the process, right? So you can understand, take some of what I say and add your own little twist, add your own little personality to it. You'll notice, right? I take a lot of things that you guys hear from Alex, a lot of things you hear from Jim Rohn, a lot of things you guys hear from Bob Proctor, other different authors, a lot of the leaders in the team when they're doing trainings, when they're doing op calls, they take a lot of things that I say or Mike says or other leaders say. Take what we're saying and add your own little personality to it and move forward. So guys, the downloads is the simple. I always tell people, okay, guys, MetaTrader 4, this is your trading application. Honestly, this is where you're pressing buy and sell, and this is where you're making money. For right now, just open up a free demo account on there. Don't worry about a live account. Don't worry about getting the broker stuff. Just open up there, go to settings, new account, blah, blah, blah. Play with the market a little bit. That's all I say. After that, I want you to join the chats, right? Join the corporate official Telegram, join the team local chat. So if I'm in Chicago, but I'm launching someone from California, I say, hey, make sure you join the QC chat, our announcement chat, and the California chat. So when there's events, you can actually plug into people out there and join their community. And then you have Discord, understanding Discord, self-explanatory stuff. You just have to break it down.
Something I want to add, which is really, really, really important is, remember, if someone's just getting started in this, they have no expectations. They don't know what they're joining. Most people don't realize they're about to go into a chat of 550 people or in the Discord of 2,000, almost 3,000 people. So please this person that's getting started with something like this, they deserve, right, that respect and edification, right? Prepare their groups like, guys, I'm so happy because my friend from since I'm 12, who's been an insane runner in track and is just always been successful his whole life, is about to start this, guys. Like, it's gonna be insane, right? So like let's get people really ready for it, get people excited. Because if you give me a little bit about this person, then I'm like, all right, dope, this person's cool. Like, yeah, let's go, let's get set up, let's run this, right? So that's one thing that I think is just super important. Like, introduce people to this. Right? Imagine if someone's just like, yeah, man, this is something that if you really take serious, it can truly change your life. And then they just throw you into a group chat, and then now that group chat, what does it mean to them if you just add them to a group chat and then you didn't tell them what it was about? They don't know what it's about. They don't have an idea of anything, right? So, guys, make sure like everyone gets a proper introduction to the groups, and it's just so valuable for them to understand what the purpose of what they're doing is and what the groups are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one thing I notice a lot as well is when there's a proper introduction of someone to the chat, people are more excited, right? I've seen it where someone just joins and no one welcomes them, but it's because no one's excited, right? But if Mike signs up Kyle and he gives that massive introduction, like, it's insane. I don't know what in our brains make us do that. It just is what it is. And so if we just accept it as it is what it is, right, let's just take advantage of it. Now, this next step is where it gets really dangerous, right? Because this literally right here, this is the hard part for me, right? This is the hard part for me because this section right here, if someone just reads this, let's say I was as dumb as a rock, right? I'm as dumb as a rock, but I can sign up people left and right. As long as people just have these 5 bullet points, they can become successful in I Am Mastery Academy. They literally, this is the truth. They know how the basics. They know how to compound their account for the long term. They know how to get a broker. They know where to start watching the Tradehouse course, and they know how to get into the Go Live sessions. They're set. Now, but here's this thing. You have to look at it perspectively of when you were a first day one person, you understood nothing. You understood nothing. And so sometimes, yeah, I got to change the 2020 course. I see that. I literally just saw that right now. Thank you, Brady. I just was going to do it after when Mike started talking and no one saw me mess up. Now, when you were day one, you understood nothing. So you have to look at it through the perspective. This is why I'm pushing everyone to rewatch this, the Tradehouse course. I'm talking about it all the time because sometimes we forget what someone sees when they first get started or how they feel or how they think, right? But if you say, oh, I've already seen, I already know it, but then they have questions about, hey, that first video, I'm confused, right? About accumulation. You know, I'm confused about whatever it may be. You know exactly what they're talking about and how to actually help them, right? How to actually help them. And so with this is what I always say, right? And this is why I say it. Business is communication. If there's no communication, there's no business. If there's no communication, there's no relationship. Communication is everything in this industry. How Mike and I communicate with each other, how the educators communicate with the traders, right? How mentors communicate with their mentees, how the team communicates with each other. Communication determines success. And so I say, hey, this next part right here, honestly, is all you need to become a successful trader in this business. But what I prefer is to have a personal relationship with who I personally get started. Because what I want to do is be a resource for you while you start getting trained. So what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to break down each and every single bullet point, but I'm going to tell you what I want you to work on first, and then I want to talk to you so we can go over it together. So I always tell people, hey, the level 1 and level 2, this is terminology. This is kindergarten stuff. Honestly, most people get this done in the first 1 to 2 days. I'm setting the expectation. Most people get this done in the first 1 to 2 days, right? Because it's very simple. It's just very simple information. It goes through really quickly. And to be honest with you, the faster you get this done, the faster you're going to understand the chats. The faster you're going to be able to see that you can profit in this, right? I am programming the mind of the individual who I'm speaking to. I say step number 2 is one of the most important because it's going to show you where you're going to be 52 weeks from now. Because a lot of times when we get started, we want to get rich quick, or we're not seeing the money that we want to see, so we give up. But if I can show you how to take $200 to $750 to $1,000 a week profit in 52 weeks, would that keep you going for a year? They're going to say yes. They're going to say yes. And then what's going to happen? They're going to click on the link. They're going to watch Mike break down 365 9 to 5, and they're going to be freaking blown away. Now, here's the important part. Here's the important part. You have to go back over this with people, right? So when Mike messaged me and says, hey, Tim, I just finished step 1 and 2, right? I have a couple questions. Can we hop on a call? Get on the call with that person. Go through it with them. Test them. Go to im.center and say, hey, tell me what a market execution is. Hey, what are pending orders? Right? Challenge them. Go through the video titles with them. Go through the blueprint with them, because you're like, oh, damn, Tim, that's so tedious. Okay, well, let me ask you this question. Would you rather be tedious now and keep them in your business for year after year after year? Or would you rather be lazy now and not have a business year after year after year? Be tedious now, right? Be tedious now. You want to impact people, right? It's the same thing as saying, I want to be chairman. It's the same thing as I want to be chairman, but I'm not willing to do what chairmen do. You can say you want to impact, but you have to do what impactors do, right? You have to spend the time with your people. And hear why this is even more important. It's the domino effect. I spend a shit ton of time with them. I sign up. These are the 3 people I'll see on my screen: Kyle, Jared, and Mike. Those 3 are my structure. 1, 2, 3. If I'm spending an insane amount of time with each and every single one of them, what do you think they're going to do with their team? They're going to help them. They're going to help them, right? Mike's going to go sign up Nancy, Jordan, and John. You know what Mike's going to do? He's going to get on calls with them. He's going to answer their questions, right? People do what you do, not what you say. So I can say, hey, this is what we do, but if someone never sees me do it, why would they do it? But now what happens when Mike signs up Jordan, Nancy, and John, you know what each of them are going to do? They're going to do the same exact thing. So get involved. Get involved. Show them how to set up the broker. Break down click on the link, boom. Break it down for them. Hey, so this is our Tradehouse course. Let me tell you a little bit about Tradehouse and why we actually created this course. Oh, I actually got to get a new link here. But let this load. Right, break down what Tradehouse is, which is what we're going to do in the next segment here in about 10 minutes. We're going to go through all of that, right? Break it down. These are the original creators of Go Live. They're part of the first 100 people in this company. They curated the mentorship platform, right? These are people that we individually work with, and they're some of the best institutional educators in the world. What they did was they simplified, give me a second here, y'all. They simplified an education course where it breaks down in 9 hours how to institutionally trade. I tell people all the time, don't lie and don't tell them my story. Tell them your story. Oh, where is that? Tell them your story. I tell people, hey, it took me 2.5 years. It took me 2.5 years to learn this information. It took me 2.5 years to learn this information. You're about to learn it in your first 2 weeks. I'm so jealous of you. Right? Maybe you've been doing this for a year now.
If you don't already have the bounce back product.
I love his voice so much. I hope y'all heard that. Zachary just makes me happy, right? Break it down. There's 3 phases here, right? Phase number, and I'm cutting into the part we're going to go into a little bit, and we'll talk about this again, right? There's 3 phases here. The phase 1 is giving you an introduction to terminology and concepts of our trading style, right? Phase 2 is going to break down market cycles and the market psychology. Phase 3 is going to teach you how to be in this for the long term. Now, lesson 4 on each and every single one of these are personal development videos, just sharing some ideas on how we believe that the world operates. You don't need to go through them right away. I actually suggest you take your time watching each and every single one of them, right? So see how I break things down? I'm talking about them. I'm actually going into it. If you're struggling explaining something, it's because you haven't done it yourself, right? Mike, you want to cut in on that one?
Add is, remember, like Tim literally just said it, they're not going to do what you say. They're going to do what you do. They're going to follow your example. People will follow your action, right? That's how you really truly create influence. But what I want to see, what I would love to see is every time you're on Go Live, guy, drop it in the QC chat. Every time if you hit some profits, dope, drop it in the QC chat. Do you need to drop the number you made? Maybe not. Whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable. You hit some percentages, dope, drop it in the QC chat. That way people understand this is the expectation. We trade here. We trade here. Like trust. As you see, the more we do this, people are going to get it because a lot of the times we do so many things subconsciously. You know, you're on autopilot, just clapping, entering the market back and forth, and it's awesome. But remember, this is new experience for some people. So let's make sure people know what's really going on, right? Let's make sure these things are truly happening. Because if we want people to go through, you know, the blueprint, watch the videos, you know, go through the course. Like I want to celebrate people actually going through the first phase 2, phase 3, because you know what it's like. Because when you watch the first 5 hours, yeah, cool. You watch the first 5 hours of the academy, you're like, all right, cool. I actually get what I'm in now, like what this market is, some of these phrases. As you're going through the course, then you're like, oh my God, like I've been saved because I could have been like 95% of traders. That could have been me, right? And everyone now knows the feeling when you see that ugly chart with indicators and you see people selling at equal highs and buying at equal lows, you're like, oh, I just want to help you, right? But you don't have to go through that. Most of you didn't even have to even understand that anymore, right? You just immediately jumped at the top of the food chain. So, yeah, with that being said, like I really would love to see just like, you know, see everyone entering the market, showing what they're doing, because people want to just, and it doesn't even have to be, oh, you just made money. It could just be, yo, look, I'm looking at a chart, like, good, right? Because, you know, this is a QC, this Telegram chat, that's the family, right? And what we know and what the family knows is that there's struggles, there's process that comes with it. So not every day is going to be a W. We lose to, I want to see your losses. Yeah, I want to see them losses. I used to drop losses on my Instagram. I just gotten people started because of how much I lost. And so people want to see people want to feel the truth, the reality. People want to see the real documentation of the come up. So that's kind of what I wanted to add is just like let's act, let's engage more. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Exactly. And so that's the next step part right there. And then obviously the schedule, the breaking things down. Go through this process with them, right? I always paint the simple blueprint. I say, hey, it's 5 hours of basic education. It's 1 hour of understanding the 1-year plan. It's 1 hour to open up your broker. And now it's only 9 hours, right? Then it's 9 hours of institutional trading education, right? So if you do an hour a day for the next 2 weeks, right, we'll be able to put some money in your live account, get you on the sessions, and start making some of those small profits, some of those small returns, so you can actually see and feel the psychology, right? You can actually see and understand how the market moves. Then the personal development, right? I break down each and every single video. I break down the importance of personal development. I say, hey, this how to take charge of your life video is one of the best introduction. Guys, I'm edifying everything I talk about, right? This is why when I say, some people are like, man, like the whytradingworks.com video doesn't work. I'm like, well, did you edify it? Did you talk about it? Because it works. The video works great for me, but I edify the hell out of the video. Why? Because if someone's not excited to watch or do something, they're not going to be excited about it. So when you say, hey, what was the best thing you liked about it? Oh, no, I don't know, bro. I was eating Cheetos when I was watching it. Really wasn't paying. You know what? This isn't for me, man. I'm just going to work for 4 years. Right? You have to edify the things. Hey, How to Take Charge of Your Life by Jim Rohn. This is an individual that you're probably going to be listening to now for the rest of your life, and he really allows you to expand your mind by ideas. And when your mind is expanded by an idea, it can never go back to normal. The business of the 21st century really just breaks down how billion-dollar companies are shifting their business models to the same business model that our company currently has. See what I did? The Building Your Network Marketing business talks about, how this is a profession. It talks about how this is something that if you take this seriously, you can be wealthier than your wildest dreams. GoPro talks about I just start going through all the different things and I say, hey, this is actually one of my favorite Audible series conceive, believe, achieve. It's actually someone who's the #1 African-American earner in the world in network marketing who's in our company, talk about his story from making $0 a month for 5 years in a row to now making over $650,000 a month. And so listen to this personal development while you're going to the gym, you're in the car, you're laying in bed, but just take some time to grow your mind, because if you don't grow your mind, you're not going to be able to grow your income. Now, what happens here is, why did I place this personal development, even if it's just a trader? It's re-exposure, 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 because there may be something that someone hears that triggers something that makes them want to take an action. Guys, this is the most important, I forgot to say this in the beginning. Whether someone just wants to trade, just wants to build, or just wants to do both, they must go through the course. No matter what, step 1 is always getting them through the course. It's always getting them through the course. If they want to be a trader, they have to go through the course, right? If they want to be a trader and going 2 and free, they have to go to the course. If they just want to build the business, I say, hey man, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't just build this business if you don't trade. It's not gonna work. They're gonna be like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, if you're not fit, are you gonna sell fitness programs? Or you know what I'm saying, right? So get them through this. It's important. It's super, super important. And then I break down the links. I make it easy. Okay, how to access your back office, how to access the education, how to access the sniper course, where to find people on Go Live, how to do your actual analysis, where to find economic or fundamental news. Here's a position size calculator so you can see what lots you should be using. And then just some people to follow on Instagram. This 8th step is super important. It's super important because it increases people's belief all the time. It's increasing people's belief, because what do most people do? They sit on the toilet and they scroll through Instagram. But what if they start seeing Mike's stories? What if they start reading Jason Brown's post? They start watching Alex Morgan's Go Live. What do you think that's going to do to them? It's going to change everything. It's going to change everything. So guys, the launch doesn't have to be the same as everyone else's, right? You can develop your own style of launching. You just have to make sure that you launch. Right? Get your leaders involved. This is one of the most important processes, and I'll say it over and over and over and over and over again. If you've never done a launch before, have Mike and I hop on, or Mike or I, have your leader hop on. Guys, we are not too big to do little things. Launch is not a little thing in the first place. It's the most important thing. For the 100th time I've said it, right? Get us involved in the launches. Get us involved in the closing calls. Get us involved in the group chats, because that involvement strengthens your business and strengthens the person getting started. So, Mike, before we move on to the trading part of this and get into our trading training here, anything that you want to just kind of finalize or top off on the launch, or if there's any specific questions really quickly about the launch that you guys want me to answer or Mike to answer?
Yeah, guys. Yeah, go ahead and drop whatever questions you have in the chat right now. That way we can clarify anything. I think Cody had a question. So let me go ahead and see if I can answer anything. 5 hours, 2 hours, 9 hours. All right, perfect. But yeah, I guess to really just end off on the launch and go into more on the trading side, set the expectation. Just set the expectation. Be real. Don't sugarcoat anything. Let people know what they're getting themselves into. Like, yo, okay, cool. You just told me that, you've been struggling your whole life with people understanding who you are. Awesome, bro. Like, be you here and just go ham with what you have. Right? Okay, you've been telling me that you do not like your job. If you feel like you're drained, right, awesome. Guess what? If you plug into this, right, if you're really hopping on the calls, if you're tuning into the educators, you're listening to what they're saying, you're going to feel way better, right? And here's one thing that we haven't mentioned yet. Once you have this person's purpose behind why they're here right now, once you know why, right? Once you know why they're here, you need to ask them for permission, right? You guys need to ask them for permission and let them be like, hey, look, this journey of entrepreneurship, of learning how to really trade, right, of building up your capital, of creating a team, creating a culture, right, there's going to be moments where they might be a little bit difficult. There might be moments where things might get tough. You might feel like you're retracing a little bit, right? So do I have permission to remind you, right, to remind you of why you're here in the first place? You give me that kind of permission as your mentor and as your guide in this process. to really just put it in front of you again, and to just remind you every once in a while, like, yo, let's do this for your kids, right? Let's do this because your family's never seen six figures in their life, right? Let's do this because everyone has ever seen, like, that's been in front of you, and that's been around you, is poverty, or has been a lack of belief. So ask for that permission, because a lot of times the reason some people fall off is because we don't feel comfortable telling them, hey, look, man, this is why you told me you're here, and now the reason that you're here is the reason that you're not here, right? You said you didn't have enough time, so you needed to learn a new skill set, and now you're like, yeah, I'm just too busy at work to learn the new skill set. What's going on, right? Because here's the thing, everyone here, if you've gotten someone started, they got started with you, because they truly feel and believe that you can guide them, right, with your understanding and your mentor's understanding. You can take them where they want to go, right? So the reality is you have that authority, right? You have it. They want your help. You know, what is a mentor? Someone that tells, right, someone that tells their mentee the things that maybe they don't want to hear, but they definitely need to hear. And always come from respect. And the one important thing is, when you're communicating with someone, remember, you have to be thinking about what they need, not what you need, not for your upcoming rank, but what do they need, right? I think that's the last thing I really want to add as far as the launch goes. And I think it just sets the tone by how you guys can push each other and grow together, right? I think that's, to me, just setting that expectation is massive.
Thank you, Mike. That's big. That's something I didn't touch on, and I'm gonna start going through these, and I'll have Mike and I'm gonna have Mike start the next segment, give him a little topic, then I'll jump back in it. Nancy says, ask them how they want to be held accountable. That's really what Mike was getting at as well. Is ask them how they want to be held accountable. I tell people how I like to be held accountable, right? Mike knows, like, I'm always gonna be transparent with him, but when he knows I'm not doing shit, he's just gonna say, Tim, you're not fucking doing shit, right? I just need to be told. Right, that's how I like to be held accountable. So I'll tell, if I'm watching Cody, I'll be like, hey, Cody, I'm going to be with you the whole entire way. So if you ever feel like I'm not helping you, let me know directly. I'm someone that needs to know directly. Please don't beat around the bush. But if I'm allowing you to do that, can you tell me how you like to be held accountable, so I know how to best push you, right? Because I make them say yes. It's like what the car salesman does, right? They try to get you to say yes 10 times. So when they ask when you want to buy the car, they say, yeah, you say yes. I say, hey, you see the vision with this. You really want to do this, blah, 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 blah. Is it okay if I keep you accountable in that method then? Yes, right? That's exactly what you're going to do. And so, Tyler, for follow-up methods, right? One thing I say is, hey, and I set the expectation, right? I'm an expectation setter. And this is probably, I probably need to switch it up a little bit. I'm being honest. I tell people, hey, I like I said, I want to have the communication with you. So I need you to tell me when you're done with the first part, so we can communicate again and I can give you the next step, right? Because I can give you 90 days down the road, but let's be honest with each other. Are you going to remember 90 days worth of things to do? Or would it be easier if you and I work through this together? It's going to be, I get people to say yes, right? So I say, okay, in 48 hours, when you're done with the first 5 to 7 hours of training, right, I want you to reach out to me so we can go through this again together. Now, ask them when they will be done. You can ask someone when they will be done, but I think that you should set the normal. You set the normal, right? You set the normal. Hey, most people are getting this done in the first 2 days. Do you believe that you can get 5 hours of education done in 2 days? They say yes, awesome. Put that in your notes. Set a reminder on Siri. Hey, Siri, set a reminder for 7 p.m. to check in on Mike, blah, 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 right? Get the notification, check in on that person, right? Best ways to follow up with about being a knowing boss or a leader, exactly what Nancy was talking about, exactly what we just talked about. Ask them how you can keep them accountable. When's the best time to launch? Do you want them to let them get into it right away and launch? So I think when you do an initial breakdown of the document, that's not someone's launch. Right? It's not someone's launch. Even when they watch the video I have on there, that's not someone's launch. I think when you launch someone is when there's some type of equal understanding and you're able to push them into the direction that they want to go. So if you're in person with someone they just got started, break down the importance of that document to them, right? If they don't have time right now, okay, break down the importance of them watching that video as quickly as possible, and set up a time. Set up a time within 48 hours. You have a 48-hour window. If you can do it in 24, even better. There is a 48-hour window of excitement. If you do not launch someone within the first 1 to 2 days, you have lost their excitement, right? You have lost their excitement, and you have lost the opportunity to use that momentum. So I hope that answers your questions. What if they don't have a why? Everyone has a why, right? Sometimes.
Hold up. Let me help with that, right? If someone generally doesn't like have a why, have a greater purpose, it's, I think, something that I found some luck with, or it just makes sense, is because I think people think different. They're not focused on why they're here. They're focused on why they're not, like what they don't like. So I think it's an easy question. It's like, okay, well, if you don't have a big reason why you're here, then why are you not there? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are like, hey, I'm in it for the money. But okay, what pisses you off, Ivana? What pisses you off? Like, what can you not stand anymore, right? They have a why, they just don't see it like that, right? So sometimes you have to understand and look at them and understand what kind of person is this. And if you can tell, like, this person's here right now because they're probably just irritated with where they are in their life, then that's a way to really understand and look at people different. Because not everyone's just like, you know, more self-actualized and understands why they're there. Some people don't want to talk about, oh, I want to do for my kids. Some people just want to be like, look, man, I'm fucking trapped, man. I feel like I'm in a prison and I need to break out, right? That's what some people are. So you kind of have to learn about your person, learn about who's getting started, because the reality is not everyone that gets started is in this like enlightened path. Most people are just, a lot of people can just be like just frustrated, right? And then that's not how you know like what to tap into. I was like, hey, dude, hey, it's been a month. Are you still frustrated? Yeah, fuck my job. All right, cool. Let's get to work, right? That's one way to look at it. I think not everything's always going to be the same cookie cutter process. I think you just have to get to know who you're getting started and why you're getting them started. So to answer, I think that's, should you bother with someone who has controlling parents? Yeah, I think everyone's worth it, for sure. What I like to do is get their parents on the call. So if someone has controlling parents, that means they're probably pretty young. Doing this, maybe they're under 18, 19, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't matter on the age, but challenge them, be like, oh, cool, you know, you want to do this, but your parents don't believe in it, they think it's whatever. Awesome, man. Yeah, let's get them on a call. Get them on a call with me. Because here's what's going to happen. They're going to go 2 and free right away. That's what's about to go happen, right? They went from maybe not even getting started to going 2 and free. It's an amazing experience, right? So plug me in. If you ever have any struggles, if you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do, you know, you're like, man, here's this barrier. Guess what? I used to do high jump. We about to jump over those barriers, right? So don't worry about it. You just let me know. Plug me in, plug Tim in, plug your mentor in. If they don't know, trust me, I'll probably know what to do. If I don't know, guess what? We're personally mentored by Chairman 500 Matt Rosa, Chairman 500 Jason Brown, Chairman Elite Alex Morton. All the answers you will have, 100%. Johnny Caves, how do you handle ego in your business? Okay, I think here's one way to do it, right? If you started and you launched the right way, then you know why they're there, right? And let's say you don't know why they're there, and you're like, okay, this person maybe has potential, but their ego is getting in their way. And a lot of times, if ego is getting in the way, it's because maybe they don't look at whoever got them started as a mentor anymore, right? Because their ego is clouding their judgment. So plug us in, right? Be like, hey, bro, I want you to succeed. And I really think, you know, Tim can get you into the right path. So let's set up a Zoom call, and then I can have a conversation, or Tim can have a conversation, or whoever can have a conversation with them. If it's at the point where you know this person is just self-sabotaging at this point, then right, show them what they were here for when they got started, and they're like, look, I know you want this, you want to grow like this, but guess what? Because of this, you're not. And you're not going to break through unless you stop putting yourself in the way, right? And I'm only telling you this out of love, but because I know you're worth so much more, right? And maybe you don't see this right now, but I don't want you to be in the same place in a year or 5 years because of the same issues you've had your whole life, right? And the reason we're here right now is because we're here to grow, we're here to progress, and we're here to break through. So, right, maybe you don't want to hear this from me now, but I just want you to be aware of this, right? And have a conversation with somebody else. Well, if you don't want to say that, I will say the necessary things if I believe that's something that needs to be said, right? So that's my way. I don't know if Tim, you want to plug into that maybe a little bit different.
You said it right, man. I mean, everything is situational. So this is something that's super important too. When you have questions, ask. When you have questions, ask. Break down situations, and it's, you know, it's very hard to say blanketly how to get rid of ego. You know, it's very hard. Like, because sometimes, like, you can't be the person to say, hey, bro, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're ever going to get better results, because, you know, like, what you're doing has got you into the shithole you're in right now. Like, you can't just say that to people. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really just find ways to build a bridge and have conversation. Conversation changes everything. Remember, no one wants to be told how to fix their problems, right? You have to talk and conversate in a way that makes someone believe they came up with the answer themselves. That is the number one thing right there. If you can get someone to come up with the answer themselves, you know, it's guided mentorship. It's like Shakespearean, whatever the old style of questioning is, whatever. It's that thing. For you smart people, tell me what that is. But yeah. So what if we even said that they're still in the same place? You let it go. I don't know. Give them some personal development. Give them some personal.
Here's what I want to say to that. First, Tyler, I love you too, bro. And two, Stephanie, some people, right? They're right now, they're going to hear the right information, but they're not in their mindset's not where it needs to be to continue, right? They need to either, so I can almost guarantee you, right? If all the information has been given to whoever, right? And they're just not taking it from you, they're not taking it from anybody, then what's going to happen is this: don't feel bad. Don't feel bad that someone doesn't want to grow, or you see that they're putting themselves in they're being their own resistance. That's, you already gave them the resources, you did your part. Now, you know, time has to do its thing, right? Time has to, it sucks sometimes because I've seen it here, but what I've also seen is that even some people here who maybe this happened to, now some of these people may even be your leaders, right? So the thing is at some point, right, the universe is going to put something in their way, and either they're aware and they're going to take what they learn and finally apply it now, or they're just going to keep getting tested until they figure it out. Some do, some don't. But I wouldn't put it on yourself. Don't feel heavy because, you know, you want this person to win so much, but they don't want it as much as you want it for them. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that. Going back to what Eddie said we shouldn't compare each other's progress, but at the end of the day, there's a voice in the back asking, why are they developing faster than I am? What's some pointers on that? That's a good question. I guess that's a good statement. I think there's a level of transparency to ask yourself, and then always the big thing is, you know, communicate with whoever got you set up. And if they're not around, then, you know, whoever is going to give you the most value. I think that's just definitely a really deep conversation you can have. But if we're going to talk general, when it comes down to comparing, and I don't want to give you guys the same response. Don't compare your chapter 1 with the chapter 1. I don't want to give you guys that. That's not really the answer that I want to give right now. I think it's focusing in on, you know, is it ego? Is that getting in your way, right? Is it because you are comparing yourself, is that stalling you? You know, could that be the case? Or, right? Or are we focusing so much on the lack of results, and that's why we're only attracting the lack of results, right? Sometimes we're so hyper focused on the problem or on the lack that's all you're giving yourself the opportunity to have, right? It's like, okay, here's an example, right? Let's say you're thirsty. You're like, oh my God, man, I'm so thirsty. Or let's say you're cold, man, I'm so cold, and you start telling yourself you're cold, you start to shiver like crazy, right? And all you think was, man, I'm cold. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, oh man, this sucks. Like, I wish I was in, Puerto Rico or something. But instead of realizing, okay, wait a minute, I'm cold, right? Okay, wait, hold on. What if I go and I start moving around? I'll get a little warmer, or I'm thirsty. Okay, where can I get water, right? So let's focus much more on solutions than the problem. And let's if we want something, if we want to build our trading accounts, if we want to understand more, right? If we want to have a large family, right, which brings you more residual income. Okay, man, I feel like I've been doing this for a minute and I don't have the team that I feel like I want. So, all right, cool. I want to work with 12 people. Awesome. These people aren't coming to me. What the hell? Like, I don't have a big team. How many people are you talking to every single day? How many new people are you talking to every single day? Okay, and if let's say you're like, well, I just don't talk to that many new people, but I want the results. Okay, let's think about it this way, right? Okay, why don't you feel the urge to talk to new people? And maybe you forgot why you did this, right? Maybe you forgot, like, okay, the reason I want to talk to new people is because I know this works for me. I know this works for other people. Okay, so I'm not talking to people now for me. I'm talking to them. I'm talking to them for them, right? So sometimes you got to really bring it back, break down, and come back to the lack of, like, what am I not doing, right? Because we're focused on what we don't have instead of thinking about what am I not doing, right? And then now okay, cool. Now look at it. This is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to have, right? And so I think it's a shift of perspective a lot of times, and then you'll start receiving because you're focusing. You're like, all right, cool. I'm doing. I'm having. I'm receiving. I get to do this. I get to do this. You will receive. At least that's how I look at it. I think that should help.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, Ivana. I want to touch on your thing again. Remember, there always has to be a why before an action, right? There always has to be a why before an action. So you have to dive deep and really help someone see why they want to do this, because they will quit. They will quit. Guys, this is super important. Finding out someone's why and them understanding why they're doing it. It's probably even more important for them to understand why they're doing it, even if it's the base level of money, right? There has to be some type of thought process when they get home from work that day and they sit on the couch and they're looking at the TV or they're looking at their laptop and they say, am I going to watch Netflix today or am I going to study the academy? They have to understand why they need to study the academy. And once they understand that, they will choose that action every single time, because once they do that action long enough, that's going to help them achieve the why that they're thinking about in the first place. So I think that's pretty much it on the launch. If you really want to learn more about launching people, watch that video on the launch document. I'll share the link one more time in the chat really quick. Watch that video on there. I think it will be super beneficial. It'll be super helpful. Work with your team, right? Launch each other again. Whatever you have to do to just get better. Remember, this is a business of skill sets, right? It's a business of skill sets. You can't all of a sudden get started with this company, right, and have every single skill set, right? You just all of a sudden can't get started day one and be the best presenter, be the best launcher, be the best closer. Even when people come from making six figures in other network marketing companies or direct sales or corporate America, whatever, they have to forget everything they know and they have to relearn. So when you are able to leverage people, right, leverage your leaders, leverage your team, learn from that. I tell people this all the time. I'm gonna give Mike the preface to get this next segment 2 started here. But I tell people, every time I'm speaking to you, I'm teaching you something. When I'm launching you, I'm teaching you something. When I'm closing you, I'm teaching you something. When I'm presenting to you, I'm teaching you something, right? When I'm launching someone, I attempt to do it in a way. I'm not going to say attempt. I know I do it in a way to where someone can say, I remember how this worked. And I believe I can do this for the next person. If every action you do answers the question of, can I do this too? You're doing it correctly. If that person, if I'm talking to Tyler and I get done launching Tyler, and Tyler in the back of his head believes that he can do that too, he will go above and beyond, right? He will go above and beyond and make it happen. So we're going to get started in the segment 2 here. We're going to talk about some trading concepts. Really, Mike, what I want you to start segment 2 with is why now, right? You and I have been chatting about this for a couple days now. Actually, we've been chatting about the what's going to happen to the market for about a year now. But really, why has Jason been so, crazy in the chairman chat about what's happening in the market, what's happening in the industry? John Guaman yesterday talking about how much massive growth comes from times like this. Really just preface trading with why now.
Yeah. And it kind of goes back to what I talked about in the beginning, where you're in a position to prepare yourself for what happened in 2008, right? If you guys if you never realized this, in 96, 97, the stock market was crashing so hard they literally needed to put like programs in place to literally stop the market from falling so hard. And literally they just stopped the market, like no 15-minute pause, like timeout, like penalty, like it's got to stop. And so it's happened so aggressively, and we just saw that today. And so you got to understand, remember guys, like this is inevitable. Everything that's happening is inevitable. Guys, the Federal Reserve, they just literally print paper. Like in high school, I remember you used to hear like jokes like, money, like you can't just print paper. Like we think paper just comes, like money just comes from thin air. Yeah, that's actually what happens. That's legitimately what happens, and why we have currencies and why we don't really have money. Currency is not the same thing as money. Okay? It's not. What right now metals are booming. Why? Because all of this empty fluff that are called dollars and pounds and yen that are backed by literally nothing, all of that's gonna drop. All of it. At some point in time, it's gonna just literally fall. Right? That's why we can get into cryptos another day, but that's why, Bitcoin is something that's so powerful, because it's something that, okay, this is backed off of the belief of people, right? The dollar and the yen and the euro and the pound and the franc or whatever go up and down because the feds are just like, yeah, all right, let's just push it up right now because, well, we want everyone else to lose right now. We want to make a little bit of money, right? Remember, that's something you need to understand. And like I talked about in the beginning, right? This gives you the tools you are pretty much the Federal Reserve. When you're a trader, you're pretty much the Federal Reserve. Why? Because now you can print money whenever you want. You go, okay, you look, well, there's a setup here. Awesome. Let me take this trade. And because of this trade, there's a good chance I'm gonna make some money. So yeah, you're pretty much like the Federal, you're like every other bank now. Because on your wish is your command, right? You're like, all right, I want to make some money. All right, cool. Let me wait for my setup. Let me take this trade. Awesome. I just paid for my Airbnb. Awesome. I'm assuming Isaac is on this call. Isaac Jankowski paid for his rent earlier today. One trade. Pips pay my bills, yo. Like that's what we're seeing happen right now. And that's the power you need to understand. And what's so fragile, right? We're in a very, very fragile state because there's no coincidence that we're seeing coronavirus. You're seeing oil plummeting. You're seeing oil wars across the ocean, right? You're seeing all of this fear-based news all over the place, right? It's all setting up for elections too. So everything happens on purpose, and that's what I want you to understand. You guys, here's what's super, super, super important, right? Here's what's super important. Everybody on this call and who has been on this call and has left, you now don't have the ability to claim ignorance. You don't. I'm sorry. Now you are just stupid if you don't become successful in your life. Not even if you don't do this, that's fine, right? But now you're aware of something like this, not trading, go up or down, and then building residual income, right? Now, people here can go and become business owners because you've learned, right? You've learned the laws of compensation. You've learned, right, the cash flow quadrant. You've learned how to really leverage, right? So now you have no choice, right? You don't, because it's been put in front of you. a lot of people have never even been exposed to this information. So they can claim, hey, man, I didn't know, you know, like I'm 40, I'm just learning about trading. I never even knew this existed, right? I wasn't brought up with this. Okay, cool. Here, introduce you to my little friend, I Am Mastery Academy. But now everyone's plugged in, right? Everyone's plugged in. And I don't want 5, 10, 20 years from now, right, for everything to go downhill for you. You already know about this. You should be telling your parents about how the 401ks don't mean anything anymore, right? Have the right information for it. Don't just go start talking shit to them, but be able to back up your information. But guys, we are in the position to save so many people from massive mistakes, right? Massive mistakes. Because when everything starts, I want you guys to understand, most billionaires, multimillionaires, millionaires, they came up in times of recession, right? Manny Koshman, I want you guys to look him up. Manny Koshman, he is a multi-billionaire real estate mogul, has the largest collection of cars, supercars in the world, one of the dopest dudes ever. This person came from, I think it was Iran at the age of 14, right? Moved to America, didn't know how to speak the language, right? Had no idea how to speak the language, right? His father was promised a little job at a gas station. In 2 to 3 days, his friend fired him because they just couldn't make it happen, kicked him out of the house. So they lived out of a car. Ironic, because now he has the greatest supercar collection on the planet when they lived in a car at the age of 14, right? And this person, what he ended up doing was he's literally bought the same building 3 times, bought it, sold it for multiple millions in profit, bought it again in another dip, sold it in multiple millions in profit, bought it again in another dip, sold it for multiple, like literally making 10 million in profits. Why? Because he understands the cycle and the power of being prepared for recessions or depressions. Imagine that. Flipping the same hotel, or like you buying the building and then you profit. Like, guys, these are buildings. So this is what I need you to understand is where you are right now. Do not underplay the resource that you have in front of you. Don't. It's easy because you go, oh, cool, good man, I'm making money off my phone. It's cool, it's lit, bro. Like, do you actually understand that you have the solution to any of your problems and anybody else's problems in your pocket or in your hand right now? Like, that's the power of trading. That's genuinely the power of trading. But the cool thing is, for you to become, right, a successful trader, you guys know it's not one skill. It's not knowing if the market's going to go up or down, right? It's learning how you're going up or down and how to respond to that. That's really what trading is, right? Once you know how to respond to how you're going up and down and how the market's going up and down, easy money, right? Easy money. So that kind of is how I really wanted to set the tone to understand what you have, right? These are things that Jason and John and, Alex were just really bringing up onto us because they're like, guys, like, things are going to happen. Like, you got to set yourself up, right? These are stepping stones. Because here's the thing. As recessions happen, right, is it going to be right now? Maybe not. Is it going to take a year, 2 years, 3 years? We'll see. We'll find out, right? Look at the chart. But as these things start to happen, right, remember, people are always looking for a solution, usually once it's a little too late, right? And once jobs and unemployment rates start to go up and people start to realize, right, that their jobs aren't as secure as they thought, who are they going to go back to, right? Those people that were prepared, that have been learning how to have this skill to guide them in any sort of situation, that's what they're going to come back to. That's why your consistency now pays off later. Because people are like, man, Jared's been on this trading thing for like 2, 3, 4 years now, Man, yo, Jared, what's this all about, bro? Like, I mean, man, I'm struggling here. Like this, like I'm getting less hours at work now, man. I need to figure something out, right? Cool, that's your guy, right? You go, hey, Andrea, what's going on? Like, I can't get my 401k out. I'm broke, but like it's locked in until I'm 59 and a half and I'm only 34. Like, what do I do? How do I do it? Like, I don't have money. Like, what do I, you know what I'm saying? So guys, like, remember, like, you have something that most people don't understand that they need. That's why we have to be in that position, and you have to grow as traders, right? And that's why it's so important to understand what we've built here with Tradehouse and as QC, right? Because most people come into this trading space, and what happens, remember, people come here without that investor's mentality. That is a very, very distinct mentality, right? People join this because they want to learn how to make money, they want more time, et cetera, right? But they need to develop their mindset as investors, as traders, and that's not something that's just natural. So that's what we're here for. That's why it's like, hey, watch the first 5 hours of the academy, gain the foundation, so then now you dive into the Tradehouse course so that we could show you the truth behind what's about to happen. Show you the truth behind what these banks have been doing the whole time. Show you the truth, right, behind why most people in Forex lose. And because most people lose, why that when you do understand what's happening, it's a lot more simple for you to win, right? Because once you have the proper form, you know how to outplay everybody else for the most part, right? Sometimes it's just a couple little things that you need, and you know how to, if you're a basketball player, right? Once you have a couple little techniques and you really understand the flow of the game, like you're moving the way people don't get it. Same thing with any sport. Same thing with chess, right? Trading is a game of chess. You're understanding how everybody else thinks. Dope. Now you know how to apply the real moves and work with the right banks. But I don't know, Tim, if you wanted to set it up like that, or if you had anything else you had in mind.
Yeah, you knocked it out the park, and we really are going to. Today, we're not going to be hopping on the charts on this trading session. Day one, or I guess phase 2 and phase 1 of the trading section is really just breaking down why and what we have and creating that awareness and that level of understanding. You know, the most millionaires are created in times of tragedy, in times of just disarray and in recessions. That's when they're created. And this may not be your millionaire moment, right? But this is going to be the moment that puts you in position to take advantage of the next big play. The next big play. Warren Buffett talks about this all the time. Why are they liquidating everything? Why are they getting all this cash, right? Why are the most successful people in the world, right? You guys know that Warren Buffett doubled his wealth in like 2009, I believe it was, right? It was in 2009. Just watch what happens in the next couple of years to that dude's net worth, right? So this may not be that moment where you're going from 87 billion to, or whatever, to wherever he's at now, right? 140, 150 billion dollars, but it's the moment that is setting you up for the future, right? I think that John Glenn was talking about yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but he says the industry grows by a minimum of 15 to 20% in times of recession because people have no other way to make income. No other way to make income. And this just comes down to understanding of alignment, understanding where we're placed right now, right? Where we're placed right now with the events, the 2K retreat, Houston, with the new Tradehouse course, right? With what's happening in the market, with the year that it is. And we talked about at the beginning of the year, it's the roaring 20th, right? With it being an election year, like everything is aligning. This year is appointed. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the most powerful years of this decade. This will be one of the most powerful years of the decade. You just have to take advantage of it. And Mike pretty much nailed it on the head. And so why Tradehouse, right? Why Tradehouse? I do not believe, to my current knowledge, right, that there is any system for what you pay where you have this many amount of resources. I do not believe that there is any course in the world that can teach you faster on how we trade. I do not believe there's any platform in the world that has this much quality mentorship. I do not believe there's any educators in the world who are willing to give you their time. I just don't think so, right? So understanding that is huge. Number two, understand the trading schedule. Guys, we talk a lot about the morning session all the time, the New York session. Did you know Bounce Back is looking to do London session now as well? Like, did you know that on the English side that we have over 30 hours a week of go live? On the Spanish side, we have over 14 hours a week of go live, just Tradehouse, right? Like, go right. I don't have the updated schedule, so I was going to share my screen, but I don't have it. But go on the go live session, or maybe Mike or I will do this. Date it out: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and write out all the sessions in your time zone. Right? Write out all the sessions in your time zone. Now, when someone goes through the academy, they go through the Tradehouse course, they have their account open. Sit down with them and say, hey, what's your work schedule like? Let's find out which educators you can watch live, right? Or, hey, let's have you go through a couple recordings of each and let's see who you like most, right? Oh, hey, do you see yourself being more of a position trader? Do you see yourself, find out, right? Get to know the traders, get to know the educators and plug them in like that. When you know the schedule, this is what I tell people. This is my new favorite statement. My literally new favorite statement is, if you can watch 1 hour of education a week for 2 weeks and hop on our mentorship platform for 5 hours a week, 2 hours on Tuesday, 1 hour on Wednesday, and 2 hours on Thursday, you can make a full-time income from this. It's my new favorite statement, because literally that's the blueprint. Go through the education, get fundamental understanding of institutional trading, hop on the session. I mean, Mike, is it any more difficult than that, or is that it? Like, really?
It's simple, right? It's just plugging in enough. It's just plugging in enough. Now, here's the important thing, is plugging in enough for you. Some people, it just clicks. Well, it just clicks. And they're like, a month in, they're just like, they get it. 3 months in, they get it really well, right? Some of you, you're like, I don't use that kind of my brain. That's out of my brain all the time. It's a developed skill, but it's one of two things. Either you learn or you don't. And if you don't, then you don't gain the kind of lifestyle that you want. It's that simple. Everybody right now, in your phone, you need to set these alarms, right? You need to set this alarm at 8 a.m. Central Time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 6 a.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. I pretty much covered everybody in the U.S., right? That's when Bounce Back goes live from Tuesday through Thursday. Or actually, better yet, set this from Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, because that's when you can start preparing yourself to trade the New York Open, to trade US 30, S&P 500, and every single day, Monday through Friday, at 8:30 Central AM, 9:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern AM, right? That's when the market opens for US 30. And I'm telling you guys, you don't have to trade this live right away. You don't have to trade this live right away. Practice. It was amazing on, I think it was Friday, Nance and Angie literally like from 7 a.m. I think till like 1 p.m. I saw them back test US 30. It was like 5 or 6 hours of just back testing. It followed along not just what was happened before, but they were taking like simulated entries based on what they were learning. And I saw them. They literally like they had their risk reward setups and they just smashing them. They weren't taking the setups because they didn't feel it quite yet, like that they had it down right on those particular moments. But it's just like you're training your eyes, and imagine right now you plug in for maybe 5-6 hours a week and you're making full-time incomes. Remember, one trade, sometimes you're one trade away from just breaking through and hitting your first four-figure week, for a four-figure day, having your first five-figure, hitting five-figure accounts, five-figure weeks. Like, put yourself in that opportunity, right? And so just set yourselves up. Like, you don't have to do too much, but in the beginning you have to set yourself up. Like, you do. You can't be sniping, US 30 or trading, GBP, JPY with, a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio from the beginning. You have to go through the process. You have to watch a little bit of the academy, get the foundation down. You have to go to the course maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times. Really understand the philosophy behind smart money concepts. And then you start watching the live sessions. You're seeing it drawn out. But don't just watch. Don't just watch. Watch and apply. Watch and apply. Right? If you're watching a live session, pause it if you want. If you're not, if you know, okay, I'm not focused on making money right now, I'm focusing on learning. Pause it, follow along with it, draw the same line, right? Use the same icons, and then just go through the motions, go through the motions, go through the motions. Ask questions. That's what's going to really separate you from, and it's going to expedite your process. For real, like it's going to happen so much faster. Bounce back is like, it's like $22 or something. Because it's huge, guys. Honestly, it's massive. And there's so much. The thing is too, is everyone's here because look, if you're only going to be here for a month, you're not going to learn this. That's just the reality. All right. This takes a little bit of time. Cool. Right. If you want to be a doctor, 8 to 12 years, and then you're in debt for a while until then you break even and then you're in profits. So becoming a doctor is like a massive position trade. Like that's like a 16, 20-year position trade, right? Trading, maybe you're in drawdown for a couple months and then you're in profits right away. To win free is like breaking even almost right away. Hitting P600, you're in profits, plus now you put money into your account, right? If you look at it that way, that should make a lot more sense for you, right? It really should. It really should. Let me go through a couple questions I think I was seeing here. All right, Brady and M had, what should people be focusing on in order to take advantage of this opportunity? Okay, I'm going to answer that question at the end. So, Tim, if you want to write that down for me. And then I think I had something here more recent. I think this is okay, cool. So, yeah, with that being said, you guys have to be plugging in. It's that simple. If you've noticed, if you've been paying attention to the group chat in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, it's literally every day, pretty much someone's smacking 5, 8, 10%. Why? Usually coming from the same live sessions, right? Coming from the same live sessions. A lot of people, I know my brother just went bananas last week. I had, you got Tyler, you got the same people. And guess what? The people that are actually plugging in are the people that stay, who will then end up actually knowing why, right? Knowing why they're doing this. That's it. When it comes down to this, like, I want to really stress what, let's go back into the trading a little bit more specifically. And when we're focusing in on, okay, what is the difference between smart money concepts, between, learning why these institutions are moving the market instead of just, blindly trading a double top or an M or a trend line or indicators. You have to understand, you really have to understand that there's information that's been put out there for you to use so that you're just easy pickings for these banks, right? Because let's think about it, right? If I tell you, yo, check this out. If you use these 2 indicators and when they, when this tells you this, and then when these other ones cross, then you just gotta buy it, right? I just made it so easy for you. I just said like, yo, just this happens, then boom, you buy. You're like, all right, cool, I can do that. Let's go. Trading's crazy, right? And then you keep losing and you keep losing and you keep losing, but you're sold on this idea, right? And remember, most people want to take the easy way, right? Most people want to take the easy way, the easy route, and then expect to receive, right, success, when that's not how that usually works, right? If I just say, hey, look, here's support, buy it at that where you see everyone else buying, hit it there. Cool. Hey, it's not working. What's up? Oh, well, it's because of, this, and that. Oh, okay. Right. So don't rationalize why things aren't working. Really, really pay attention to it. So for anyone that doesn't understand what these things mean, it's you are literally learning and training your eyes right? Training yourself to respond to the market, right? Just like the biggest banks and institutions in the world do, right? You are looking at the market in a way where it's like, okay, what would most people do here? How are most people thinking here who have no, real experience, who haven't been taught by people who have made money in this market, people who have been trained by, 8-figure earners, how it's being moved, right? That's what you have here. So you're seeing, you go, okay, hold on. So if everybody is buying at support, what do I do? Okay, you know what? All right, I won't buy. Why? Literally, why? Just because everyone else is. What everyone else is doing that, I'm not gonna do that right now, right? It's that simple. As soon as you see equal lows, right? Support, or equal highs, resistance, just don't trade. It's simple things like that. Right? A lot of trading, and this is very key. A lot of trading isn't so much about taking the best entries or taking all the entries. A lot of trading is just, it's this simple, right? A lot of trading is just not taking bad trades. Put yourself in position to take less bad trades. You almost always know, you have that feeling too, especially people who have been trading for a minute, right? You know when you're getting into a trade and you're like, I'm kind of going against I don't have all the confirmations, but I feel good about it. You buy it, and then you're like, hey, what's up, man? Hold on. Right? You can feel it. You know when you broke your own rules, right? You know that. And so put yourself in the position to just take less bad trades. That's what really, I think, for me, has put me in a really good position, is because I just learned what trades are going to fail almost always, right? Almost always. So for me, that's why, exactly like Tyler says, right? It's quality or quantity. Put yourself in a position to win. That's it. That's why, I love talking about risk to reward ratios. I'm going to risk 20 pips. And because of what I see in the market, I can make 60 because this is what the market showed me. Awesome. That's a great position, right? And so let's see, what time is it? I have to teach in a little bit in Spanish, but what we're going to be going over tomorrow is we're going to pull up the charts, right? We're going to go over liquidity. We're going to go over institutional candles, going to go over mitigation. We're going to go over, imbalances, inefficient price action. We're going to be talking about the actual, what these things actually mean, how to spot them effectively, how to use, higher time frames and lower time frames together to take high quality setups. How do I know when I should only hold this trade for a little bit? Maybe only go 3-to-1 instead of going like an 8-to-1 trade. Like, how do I know when to do that? So those are the things we're going to be talking a little bit about more tomorrow, getting really specific into it. I'll have more time tomorrow, so we might even go, hour and a half, maybe we'll see what happens, right? So yeah, those are kind of the things that we're going to be doing for tomorrow. And, going into this, remember, avoid thinking like everybody else. Right? Avoid thinking like everybody else. And I say that because, especially if you're seeing, now here's different, right? In the Tradehouse, in the Discord, you're going to see a lot of people taking the right setups, but that's not your 95%, right? That's like a concentrated mastermind group. That's what you have right there. This is a concentrated mastermind group of highly selective quality decisions that are being made, right? Do not let our group fool you from understanding what all of the nonsense is. Go to forexfactor.com and there's like little like forum sections, and you're going to be like, oh my God, people really don't know what's going on. So understand, right? Avoid the crowd mentality when it comes to trading. Avoid it. If you're seeing, equal, if you see a trend line, right, and it keeps hitting that same trend line, okay, hold on. Maybe I won't be getting into this setup because it looks like I'll be following the exact same, confirmations that anybody who's been on babypips.com could be following. Anybody that's just went straight to YouTube and started learning this information. Because remember, most people are teaching you what they learned from a free source, right? Now, some things you can learn for free that can change your life, and some things you can't. And in this case, the only reason, right, the only reason 95% of free information is inaccurate is because you need to be aware of who's in control of the information that's being put out there, right? What's the narrative that these banks want you to understand and see? They want you to think that that what they're putting out there for you is the right way to do it. It's on purpose. It's all on purpose. So understand, right? As you're growing as a trader, right? As you're growing as a trader, you're gonna go through fears. There's a fear of missing out. You're gonna see, for example, let's say you see B Money, he's already up 6% on his account, and he's already up maybe 80 pips on a trade, right? You're like, man, I want to be in on that trade. I want to make money too, right? It's okay. There's so many setups in this market. Do not be tripping on a trade that you didn't take when someone else did. That's the last one, guys. There's unlimited opportunities in this market every single day, right? You're gonna have fears of leaving money on the table, right? You're gonna think, okay, I'm in profit. I'm already up 8%. I'm at, the market's at equal lows, so it's probably a good time to take profits. But you're thinking, but I could go a little bit lower, I can make more money. Like, come on, here's what happens sometimes. So you're like maybe a couple dollars away from your first 3-figure trade, and you're like, if I hold it a little bit longer, maybe I'll hit that milestone, right? Hope will destroy your profits in this market. Don't be hopeful, right? This market doesn't give a shit about what you hope for. It doesn't. Just do what you got to do. Do you know what works and what doesn't work, right? Don't be like, oh, well, if I wait, if it drops another 10 pips, I'm gonna make my first 4-figure day. No. Lock that money in, secure the bag, right? So don't be fearful of leaving money on the table. Like, oh, I could make more. No, don't trip on that. For real, guys, do not be scared of that. You can't do not fear loss. Okay. If everyone here is a trader, so what is guaranteed for you to happen, right? What's guaranteed for you to happen is lose. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. And that's okay. That's what risk to reward ratios are all about, right? That's what risk to reward ratios are all about, because it puts you in the position to lose gracefully, right? You're gonna take losses like a champ. That's what you gotta learn how to do. Lose like gloriously. And I'm being so serious, right? It's like getting a punch to the chest. All right, cool, whatever. Let's keep going, right? No big deal. Like, that's how you have to be, literally unbothered. If you lose in the market, amazing. Let's go. And you have to make a decision. Is this loss, right, going to be an investment, or is it just going to be a loss? And the only way it turns into an investment is if you use that trade that you lost and learn and gain experience from it. Otherwise, yeah, you just took an L and it was worthless. That's it, right? Your losses can be your biggest victories if you go and gain an experience from it. Okay. So some of those are just the biggest things. Know that you're gonna lose your way to success in this, and it's gonna be dope, right? Some people, I know people that have 5-figure accounts that they actually lose more than they win. I know people that have 6-figure accounts, 7-figure accounts that lose more than they win, but they're unbothered about their losses because they know that it's just a part of their game. It's just a part of their game. So play your game, right? Play your game. So you're gonna lose, yeah, and then smile. So yeah, understand, right, what you are. You are now a trader. I am a trader. Okay, you need to embody what this means to you, right? Now you are someone that has discipline, right? You are someone who has success. You are someone who has patience, right? You are someone who can create your own economy at will, right? Now you're someone with an open mind. You're someone that's adaptable. You're not someone that's independent. This skill is worth it. Trust me. This skill is worth it because now the reason this skill is worth it is because now you are giving yourself your worth. Okay. So understanding that this is the key to retention. Trading is the key to retention in your family, in your culture, because people get started because they want something bigger, they want something greater, right? And when people can start seeing that they're really learning, right? And you really instill vision into what they're gaining here, right? You can't leave here. I'm sorry. Like, it's really hard, at least for me, right? I'm speaking from my experience. Like, it was impossible for me to go somewhere else because I finally knew that I didn't know this existed, but when I saw it, it was everything I ever wanted. It was everything I ever wanted. This is what gave me my ultimate independence. And so plugging in, right, making sure that I had everything set up, right, that I was getting, I had the right resources, right, that I was making some money. And if I wasn't, why aren't you making money? What's happening? These are the things that we need. Is if people, right, if people feel like they're growing, whether it's internally, spiritually, mentally, physically, their bank accounts, right, then they're going to stay to continue to grow and feel better. And this is the best part. Once you have that feeling, the only thing that feels better than that is you giving that feeling to someone else. That's one of the greatest gifts in the world, right? And you're almost gifting it to yourself, right? You gifting someone else this feeling of just satisfaction and freedom, you almost get it right back. And that's one of the most incredible things. So make sure your people are really, really plugging in and are having, having fun here, learning, growing. The best thing you can do is make the losses fun for you. Trust. And they're only going to be fun if they're those 2%, 3% L's. Right? They're not so fun when you just made an account and you just blew the account, right? Is that going to happen to some people? Absolutely. It's gonna. Some people don't aren't that coachable yet, right? Yet. But after those moments, generally people start to really understand that it's not just a game. Like, if you can lose 200 that quick, you can make 200 that quick, right? It's that simple. So, guys, follow the blueprint. You guys know that 365 no 9 to 5 video. We'll go into that a little bit tomorrow, right? But I appreciate your time. I'm gonna have Tim close it out for us.
Hey, Mike, do you want to answer really quick? I have my own answer, but before you jump off and I close this out really quick for us, Brady asks, what should people be focusing on in order to take advantage of this opportunity?
Cool. Oh, this is such a good question. Okay, what should people be focusing? What should people be focusing on in order to take advantage of this opportunity? So I don't know if Brady meant to ask it like this, but I'm going to give it this answers. In which order, literally in which order should you be focusing in on things to take advantage of this opportunity? And the number one thing is, first is you need to understand, what do you really have here? Once you really understand, right, what trading can do for you, right, the feeling that you get from other people seeing growth and results, right, once you really understand what residual income means and can do for you and for the people around you, right, when you really understand what you have, when you understand what trading really is, when you understand, right, what the difference is between what you get as what your education you're receiving compared to everybody else in the world. Once you understand those things, everything blows up, because now damn, like, I really gotta learn how to trade. And then you also know, damn, I really have something to share, because this is way too late to keep to myself, right? So I think that's one of the biggest things, is truly understand what you have. And if you are someone who already has, working with people, it's just having people really get it. Once people get it, yo, it's hard. To me, it's hard to just not continue and just persevere through this.
Thank you. Well, I think you kind of answered how I was going to answer it. You know, when I read that question, the first thing the phrase that popped in my head was absolutely fucking everything. Like literally absolutely fucking everything. Like you have to become obsessed with your burning desire. Right, Mike, what was that phrase I gave you earlier? And you and Nancy, I have it right here really quick. Guys, if you haven't read this book yet, Power of Awareness, go get it. Go get it. Desire becomes the promise of its own fulfillment. That has nothing to what I want to talk about, but I just felt like I need to say it. Desire becomes the promise of its own fulfillment. You have to just focus on everything. Because if now, then when? Right? If you don't go all in now, then when? Ask yourself honestly. Like, ask yourself honestly, with what you've heard just in the last 24 hours from what I talked about timing, placement, where we're going over the next 6 months, from seeing Alex Moore doing a call for our team, to hearing what we just talked about right now. If not now, then when? Honestly, if you don't go all in right now, cancel your subscription. Like, straight up. Like, just straight up. Like, not that I don't want you to learn this, not that I'm saying you have to go all in to be successful, but like, when else are you going to have this opportunity? When else are you literally going to be consciously aware of one of the biggest financial situations that's going to happen in your young adulthood, and you actually have every tool and resource to take advantage of it? You know, like that's my answer to that question. Everything. When you go to work, you're thinking about your exit plan, right? You go to work, you're thinking about, you know, what you're going to be doing when you get out. You go to the gym, you're listening to personal development. You're driving your car, you're listening to personal development. You're at home, you're studying the charts. You're at home. Delete the games on your phone. Put the Xbox in a safe and toss the key. Like, seriously, if now, then when? That's my only statement. You guys can figure out the answer on what you need to go, in what order you need to follow everything. Because you're the one that's going to decide where you're going to go with that. So that's my comment to that. It was a little bit aggressive, but it's the truth. It's absolutely the truth. What did it take to get here? Absolutely fucking everything. You think I enjoyed missing birthdays, vacations, holidays? You think I enjoyed driving 6 hours to do an event and 5 people show up? You think I enjoyed like literally having sleepless nights? You think I enjoyed seeing people leave the business? You think I enjoyed the shitty parts? No, but I knew it was part of the process, and I was willing to sacrifice fucking everything because I knew at the end of the tunnel, which there's really never an end of the tunnel because you just go into a new tunnel, right? It's literally like, oh, nice lights, okay, new tunnel, boom, right? Like, do you really actually believe in your why? Like, like seriously, ask yourself these questions. If you did, you'd be going all in. Right? There is no option B. There is no option C. Your job is going to give you what you want. Your parents can't tell you what you want. You literally have to go on. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that because I'm about to go off for 15 minutes and I only have 5. But you guys may just get some heating up Tim in New York. So if you're not going to New York and you want heated up Tim, get to New York. Beyond the point, if you guys have enjoyed this, drop some 369s in the chat. I need to see tons of 369s because I'm going to talk about what we're going to be doing for the rest of the week. Remember, on Sunday night, we talked about, and don't hop off the call. People hopping off the call like, oh, they don't want to know what's happening the rest of the week. Y'all are crazy. On Sunday night, we talked about awareness of timing. We talked about the reason why, and we talked about really where we're going as an organization by impacting 1,000 new people over the next 3 weeks. Tonight, we talked about how to properly launch the newest member and why launch the newest member. You know, in our trading segment, yeah, we didn't hop on the charts, but we talked about extremely important things. Why Tradehouse is going to change the industry, why QC is going to change the industry, where you can plug in with the trading schedule, and how trading itself, how plugging people into the system is actually going to change your business. Tomorrow, in the first hour, we're going to talk about how to develop a proper list, how to actually speak to that list, how to get people plugged into 3-way calls, and the power of edification. In the trading, we're going to be going over institutional basics. Mike talked about it a little bit. And on Wednesday night is going to be extremely special. We're going to do an opportunity call at 7 p.m. I had actually a lot of people asking, Tim, are we doing an opportunity call this week? Is it just training? I decided to do an opportunity call and then save the training because at 9 p.m. Central Time, Mike and I are going on Next Wave Mentorship, the corporate call. I honestly do not know why we were asked to do this call at such an important date and timing right before New York. But from what Mike and I have discussed, from what we're going to talk about, you don't want to miss it because that you want the heat up session Wednesday night. I'm going to give you all the heat up session. I'm going to talk. I'm literally going to scream at the camera for an hour, and you're not going to be able to sleep for 7 weeks, right? Thursday night for the business, we're going to review everything, key topics. I'm going to teach you how to create a proper pipeline, maybe not so much technically, but actually just growing your pipeline. I'm going to talk about how to answer rebuttals through Feel, Felt, Found, and then how to actually close either by yourself through assumption or closing using a three-way party. And then Mike's going to hop on. I'm sure his 1 hour session will go for 6 because we're going to do some advanced top-down analysis. And then Friday, everyone's heading out to New York. Saturday, we have the New York convention. And the following week is going to be one of the best weeks because every single night for 2 weeks straight, we will have a business development call. We will have a live trading call, and we will have an opportunity call for 2 weeks straight, QC sponsored from all your different leaders. Mike and I, different leaders that we'll be bringing in. So if you guys are ready, type all in the chat. Please give me 30 minutes to upload this 2-hour video. I will send it. It will be on YouTube. Share it with your team. If you had members that were not on this call, get them on tomorrow's call. Guys, there should be 500 people on these calls. There should be 500 people on these calls. The number one skill set that you can learn is promotion. The number one skill set that you can learn is promotion. Let us do the work for you. Let these trainings do the work for you. Guys, I'm happy. I'm grateful. I love each and every single one of you. This month's going to be madness, and I'm extremely excited for it. So, guys, get ready for this week. Get ready for the convention. Get ready for the years ahead because QC is going to the top.